Hello everyone. Myself Diksha Ratnesh, Assistant Professor, School of Journalism and Mass Communication, IMS, Noida. And today my subject is Online Journalism of MGMC 3rd semester, and the topic is cyberspace. Cyberspace is such a term which is not yet completely defined and also has no geographical limitations. It is a term associated with application of the internet worldwide. It is also called as a virtual space as physical existence of cyberspace is not detectable at all. Cyberspace is the total interconnectedness of human being through computers and telecommunication without regard to physical geography. Basically, cyberspace is a term coined by science fiction author William Gibson to describe the whole range of information resources available through computer networks. For our purpose, cyberspace is the term in which communication and interaction between two individuals or between an individual and a computer is facilitated by digital data exchange over computer networks. This interaction or communication can be used for a host of different purposes. The internet is currently the biggest network for linking computers, but cyberspace as a concept is independent of internet. Cyberspace communication began before the internet and the World Wide Web, and cyberspace interaction and communication will continue to take place after the internet is no longer the network of choice. Currently, there is no generic system for identification in cyberspace. It is not possible to absolutely identify an entity or to accurately tell whether an object has a specific characteristics. Digital environment have inherent differences from real space which causes this difference. And when implementing an identity system for cyberspace, one need to consider more than just the basic nature of the system. Identity is a unique piece of information associated with an entity. Identity itself is simply a collection of characteristics which are either inherent or assigned by any other person. Like the color of a person hair is good or bad, and whether he is attractive or not is a part of a person's identity, which is usually reviewed by another person. Interactions done in real space inherently carry the identity of the person originating the transaction. Generally, physical traits are carried along in a transaction. For example, when one purchases a book from a bookstore, the book dealer may remember the buyer's face or build. But that is not true in the world of cyberspace. So let's talk about real space versus cyberspace. The difference between real space and cyberspace is that the essence of any digital transaction is unbundling. One and zeros do not inherently carry any separate information along with them. A real space transaction carries along inseparable secondary information. Digital transmissions can only transmit. There is no secondary information encoded in the transmission unless any other type of noise is there. Thus, for the authentication purposes, additional information needs to be carried with cyberspace transaction for identity. Providing extra information in digital communication introduces the possibility for identity theft also, as nothing can prevent the transmission of false identity information or the duplication of any other's identity information. And to prevent these problems, the actual identity must not be communicated along with the message. Instead, a verification of the IDs. This eliminates the need to send one's actual identity. The concept of verifying instead of revealing provides an extra layer of security to the sender. The other point of insecurity is in the digital certificates which were issued to verify these characteristics. These certificates are meant to be used by their owner, but if another party obtains them, then that party can falsify his identity, representing him as the individual for whom he has digital certificates. In real space, it is difficult to select, to verify or reveal portions of one's identity. Most form of identification contains more information than is needed for any transactions. This not only creates the ability to verify via the least revealing means, but it also creates the framework for anonymous transactions or communication. It is possible to merely verify the proper information without ever disturbing or distributing the same characteristics. So, cyberspace users basically have control over the strength of the link between their real world and the cyber identities. So, let's talk about digital identity. What is the digital identity stands for? Digital identity gives the authentication. It ensures that when a message is communicated, from where it is communicated, and to whom it is communicated. Another one is message integrity, providing certainly that when a message arrives from a person, it is the same message that the person has sent, not modified by any of the element in the channel. Another one is non repudiations. It ensures the inability of that person later to deny that they send that message or not, or the inability of the recipient that the message was received by that person itself. So basically, it confirms the sending and receiving of the message. Another one is unique identification is created by these type of digital platforms. And on the other hand, it is also difficult to craft a formal definition of identity. Basically, the essential and the unique characteristics of an entity are what the identity it is. For example, how the system will identify this person or a person when there are so many persons with the same name around this world. So, these characteristics might include, among other things, the unchanging physical traits of a person, his preferences, or the other people's perception of the individual personalities. The skill that a person possesses can also become part of one's identity. Let's discuss about some cybercrime. Computer crimes can involve criminal activities that are traditional in nature, such as theft, fraud, forgery, and mischief, all of which are subjected everywhere for a criminal sanctions. The term computer misuse and abuses are also used frequently, but they have significantly different implications. Annoying behavior is also a part of this type of cyber crimes, and there are different types of acts in India to prevent that, and it is very difficult to differentiate between the different uses of cyber world. So we need to be very strict for our acts. Hacktivism is also a type of cybercrime. Hacktivism is basically the act of hacking or breaking into a computer system for a politically or socially motivated person. The individual who performs an act of hacktivism is said to be the hacktivist. Act of hacktivism may include website defacement, denial of service attacks, websites parodies, information theft, virtual sabotage, and virtual sit-ins. Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, like hacking, phishing, spamming, or is used as a tool to commit an offense. Cybercriminals may use computer technologies to access personal information, business, trade secrets, or the use of internet for exploitative or malicious purposes. Another type of cybercrime is basically cyber espionage. It is unauthorized spying by computer. The term generally refers to the development of viruses that are observed or destroy data in the computer system of government agencies and large enterprises. Cyberterrorism. Cyberterrorism is the use of internet based attacks in terrorist activities, including act of deliberate large scale disruptions of computer networks, especially of personal computers attached to the internet, by the means of tools such as computer viruses. So, thank you so much.